Arsenal arrived at their last Champions League game within the league format in a very, very strong position, top three in the table. How would they finish off? Would they be able to secure their automatic place into the last 16? Or a lot of questions to be answered. And we got our answer with Arsenal running out as 2-1 winners against Girona, a game where Arsenal were expected to win. It was never going to be easy against a team who performed really, really well in La Liga last season, and Arsenal know that they needed to go away and win a very difficult European tie, and that is exactly what they did. We'll go through the lineup very, very quickly. From an Arsenal perspective, Trossard was playing in the false nine, heavily rotated team. Ranieri came in on the right wing, still working himself back into fitness, and it's good to see him back in the fold with the team. Sterling on the left, Odegaard, Jorginho, and Moreno in the midfield, Thomas Partey at right back, Alafiori at left back, and Gabriel and Kivior at centre back with Neto in goal, replacing David Raya. For Girona, a couple players to call out that you may be aware of. Danjuma is one that a lot of Premier League fans will know. Romeu is another one that they'll be aware of. Abel Ruiz, I believe. Yep. Asprilla is a young player I know quite well, still very young, 21 years of age. We also have Paul Lopez in goal, one of the older players in the team, but experienced, had a great time at Roma as well, and a really good goalkeeper. So they have a lot of quality in their team as well, Girona. So let's not forget that. But Arsenal came in as favourites, and they showed exactly why they are favourites. We'll look quickly at the stats before going into the most important moments of the game. Arsenal dominated possession, had an abundance of the ball, and used it fairly well, but there wasn't a flurry of chances. Arsenal tried to work their way in, and it's quite funny when you look at the shots that were actually taken. Majority of them are around the goal. Arsenal trying to work themselves in from those wide positions and find a way in through the middle. And surprisingly or surprisingly not, both of their goals came in those middle positions. And we will look at how Arsenal went 1-0 down again. If we look at the momentum, Arsenal were pretty much dominating from the beginning of the game all the way up until half time. No real threat to their domination. However, a mistake by them, Arsenal were high up the pitch, lose the ball, and then there's a scramble for Thomas Partey to get back. Danjuma has too much pace, beats him. Neto is in no man's land. Really poor from Neto, if I'm being honest with you. The loan itself, I still struggle to understand why we did the specific deal that we did. I feel, again, it's poor planning. We sold Ramsdale, didn't really get an adequate backup. He hasn't really been needed. He was cup tied for the Carabao Cup as well. And that mistake just compounded to why a lot of fans will be like, what are we doing here? Like, why is he here taking up a loan space that could be used on an attacking player or a more promising position? Get someone who is suitable, who wasn't cup tied previously, and that would have been a much more suitable transfer for Arsenal. However, that's not how it worked out, and that mistake wasn't a good one, both from Partey and from Neto. However, Arsenal would bounce back relatively quickly. A penalty that was won actually by Thomas Partey. We've spoken about him being at right back, not our preferred position, obviously. However, I've said consistently, he puts in a good shift, he puts in a good effort. And to me, Declan Rice has stepped up his performances considerably since the Euros. He's gained that former momentum back. But him and Thomas Partey are essentially neck and neck for best midfielder for Arsenal this season. Rice is obviously trending upwards. His performances have grown week in, week out. Thomas Partey has been a bit more difficult filling in at right back, coming into the midfield, playing those dual positions, but he's done really, really well. And to win that penalty in a crucial moment when Arsenal needed it was very, very pivotal. He got fouled in the box, rightfully given. He got blocked from progressing, and it would be Jorginho who stepped up and started away the penalty. Perfect placement by the veteran in the team. We know how automatic he is from penalties. His technique is near faultless, and it was good to see Arsenal equalise and get back on level terms as quickly as they did. Shortly after that, exactly 4 minutes later, Ethan Nwaneri would show his ability and his quality once again. The boy is a star player. Debate on the weekend around, is he best on in the right wing, centre mid? We may have an in-depth video on that. I think he's better on the wing. I love what he does on the wing. He's not an out and out winger. He has the ability to do that, yes, but he's almost like a creative playmaker on the wing with a bit of an inside forward. He can cut in, he can strike with his left foot as he did for the winner. Great work initially from Odegaard to get the ball into that right hand space. Wanyeri is able to cut in, fool his defender, gain that yard of space, and finish the ball perfectly. A real, here he is moment in his first Champions League start. And for Arsenal fans, you've got to be excited. What I would love to see in the future is the way I see Saka and Nwaneri play. They've got a bit of everything. They can play to the touchline. They can play inside. They're better interlinking with other players. But I would love to see a team where either Saka or Nwaneri are playing right wing. Either one of the two of them are playing in that right centre mid position, and you've got a Timber or a Ben White. Probably from an attacking standpoint, a Ben White potentially is better. But the interchange between Saka and Nwaneri here would be absolutely crazy. Like, as a defender, I would struggle to understand who am I marking, and how consistently are they changing position, because their skill sets lend beautifully to playing in both positions. To be honest with you, they would have to take on more of the defensive responsibility, but really Arsenal's wingers defend as hard as anybody else, to be honest with you. So I don't think it will be that much of a shift. And you look to potentially move Odegaard to the left centre mid position. I think that setup would work in games where you need to be on the front foot. You're playing against a low block. You need more creativity in the team. Probably less adventurous when you're going up against the Man Cities and the Liverpools and the top teams in the country and in Europe. You're less likely to want to do that. Arsenal got themselves back ahead, which was pivotal, went into the second half break in complete domination and continued that domination. Girona did get themselves a bit more into the game, and Arsenal kind of slowed down in terms of their domination. However, they saw the game out. They should have had a third goal. Raheem Sterling stepped up for the penalty. He did miss it. Girona also had a goal disallowed. Dewani, who is their record goal scorer, thought he had netted in their final Champions League game of this campaign. However, that was not the case, and the game ended 2-1. Key people I want to call out, mainly from an Arsenal standpoint, Trossard in the false nine, I felt played really, really well. Not only the assist, but his general link up was really good. Nwaneri, Starboy, absolutely amazing performance from him. Sterling as well, I don't think it was as bad as the rating suggests. He linked up with the guys really well. However, he needs to have some end product at the end of some of his moves, some of his shooting, and he probably needed that penalty more than anybody. Odegaard, better performance than I've seen of him in recent weeks, if I'm being honest with you. Jorginho, good performance, put away the penalty. Moreno, solid performance, nothing spectacular, but again, solid. Calafiori, good performance. Love when he's attacking. He has such an interesting profile higher up the pitch, and he's got a beautiful ability within him to finish the ball. He did score a goal. It was disallowed, but again, it's just seeing him pop up in those positions and having the confidence and the ability to execute. Gabriel Kivior, solid at the back. Unfortunate to let the goal in. The blame doesn't go to them. It's more aligned to Partey and Neto, unfortunately. But again, we move. Arsenal are in the next stage of the Champions League. They will be passing through successfully. We will take a look at the Champions League table. Just bear with me. Here we go. Liverpool end and finish in first place. Barcelona second. Arsenal third and Inter fourth. That's the top four. Joining them is Atletico Madrid, Bayer Leverkusen, Lille, Aston Villa, and the rest of the teams below them will be joining in the essential playoff to see who will make the round of 16. In that group, you have the likes of Borussia Dortmund, Atalanta, Real Madrid, Milan, PSG, Man City, Sporting, a number of top teams, Juventus, a number of top teams who will be vying for their position. So we can now look at the knockouts and who will potentially be facing who. It is going to be very, very interesting. Atalanta versus Borussia Dortmund. We've got Real Madrid versus Bayern Munich. That is going to be absolutely massive. Milan versus PSV. PSG versus Benfica. Sporting versus Club Brugge. Celtic versus Man City. Feyenoord versus Juve. Monaco versus Brest. Those teams will line up accordingly with the teams who have automatically qualified. So between Lille and Aston Villa, they will be drawn against the four teams, which are the 9th, 10th, and 23rd and 24th place teams. And it will be respective for all of the other teams as well. So Liverpool could face the likes of PSG, Benfica, Monaco, or Brest. It just determines on who will come through successfully in those games. So guys, hopefully you've enjoyed this video. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and comment. Let me know your player of the match and how far you think Arsenal can progress in this competition. It's been your boy EDA. Peace.